Horatio's having a poo, but I'm here to tell you
It was a
that
wee.
our new Finn vs. History London date on the 29th of October at Shepherd's Bush is on sale now. Be quick. There's also tickets left for Friday the 8th of August at the Edinburgh Fringe and Newcastle on the Sunday, 12th of October. Welcome back to Finn vs. History. As ever, I'm joined by Horatio Gould.
My name is Monty.
What?
My name is Jeff, but instead of my name is Monty.
Right, yes, yeah. Welcome back to...
some of them are good, some of them are bad.
No, you can't win them all.
You can't win them all.
It's a big series. Some of them will be duds. Just mumbling into the
My
microphone.
name is Monty.
This is
really
the
work.
second part of our Aztecs epic series.
Are
Today,
there any Jeffs in this story?
Jeff?
My name is Jeff.
There's not many Jeff Spaniards or Mexicans called Jeff.
Hef.
They can't say it.
My name is Hef.
Today we're talking about Hernan Cortez.
Or as Charlie called him, Hernan.
Hernan? What's his name? Hernan?
Hernan.
What's fucking Hernan doing over
Which
there?
takes a lot of aura off Hernan Cortez. Hernan
Cortez, who finds what the fuck are they going? What are they doing over there? Fuck me! Did he eating kids over there? My word!
Stop nosing about, Hernan.
Hernan Cortez, a great man. Today we'll be dealing with him and what on earth is he doing over there? What gets
one
him
of the
from
more nosy men in history?
nosy Cortez?
Yeah, nosy.
Her nose though, more like Hernan Cortez, who. You know, the central part of this story that we're building up to is the great meeting between Cortez and Montezuma.
Well, what's interesting at this
Hernan and Monty
period of time is you can just get these absolute, I guess, sort of scumbags, maybe people who maybe are not even the most exceptional people because of the period they're born.
Strong word from the off. Scumbag.
Scumbag.
Cortez is a scumbag.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm going to get a lot of comments, aren't I? But people who, because of the time they're born, are some of the most historic figures who've ever lived, right?
What's that?
It's a dog sniffing his scooch.
Charlie's just a dog sniffing his codpiece.
That's a cod piece?
What else do you think it would be?
I've
A
no
vagina?
idea.
You think he's got a vagina?
Well, do they have like a special pouch?
Yeah, it's a codpiece.
I've never seen that in my life.
It's like a cricket box.
It looks like he's wearing pads.
He looks like he's got a fanny. If we're being real about it.
Right, back on the
So, Hernan Cortez...
Hernan.
Hernan, he's born in 1484 in
Yep.
Spain. Now, when's this? I'll place this
You place
for
this?
the dum-dums. 1484 in Medellin.
Medellin.
In Medellin. The Spanish, of course, they're slightly better on the scale of using consonants and vowels than the Mexica. 1484, this is just before the Battle of Bosworth,
Which was
1485.
right.
So Richard III's around.
Yes.
He's
yet
coming,
to give battle in vain.
He's yet to go, fuck, where's my horse gone? He's not said that yet.
Said that iconic.
Shit!
Oh fuck! Where's my fucking horse?
Fuck, my fucking hot horse has gone. He's obsessed with his horse.
Immortalised by the bard himself.
Yes.
Oh, where the fuck is my horse gone?
Where's the fuck's that fucking fit horse gone? Where's that fucking... I want to fuck that horse.
Lovely fucking.
Richard III's not said that he wants to fuck his horse yet.
Oh, I want to fuck my fucking horse.
It would be a very different play.
Oh,
He's on his knees. Oh, fuck, I want to fuck that horse.
Get that horse cock in my ass, please.
I want to fuck
my kingdom, get that horse cock in my ass. For a horse.
My kingdom.
My arsehole. My arsehole it's got a horse in it.
Yeah, it's before that. Just. So
Beautifully placed.
He's in the tower and he's looking at paintings of horses going, fucking hell, that's a nice horse.
That's a great start.
Look at that horse. And it's after it's tricky.
I'm going to rush you here.
It's tricky this way.
Dermot O'Leary.
It's after the invention of
Go for it.
the hay bale. Hey, oh fuck! You're joking. You're joking.
You're joking.
You're joking.
You're joking.
1850. You joking? Hay.
Not another one.
Hay is in. How are they keeping hay then before the 1480s?
Just fucking.
Was it loose hay?
Just loose hay.
Has anyone ever got stuck in hay? Charlie, come on. When was how is hay stored? What, hay's just in a pot? No, because look, they've got hay stacks.
When was hay
That's
bales
what I
actually
meant.
invented?
Stack. I meant a stack
You
of
didn't
hay.
say stack.
I mean, like hay is in a box, like a square hay.
You had such a good first one. I don't know
It's
if you get another
before
go.
Richard III said that he wants to fuck his horse, and it's after the invention of thatched roofs.
That's when was thatched roofs?
Thatching roofs is a Saxon thing. 700
All right,
AD.
fine. Okay.
Look, you've got a beautiful 700-year cushion there. That's when Hernan Cortez... Hernan Cortez. I've got a combine. That's when he's born.
Yeah.
And he's born in Medellin. Now, there's a Medellin in...
Mexico, isn't it?
No, it's in
Chile.
Colombia.
Oh.
Because that's in Narcos. The Medellin are another
Right,
gang.
yes. Yeah.
But,
I imagine they're linked somehow.
Probably.
Yeah.
The Medellin in Spain is considered the wildest part of the country.
Right.
So they're not, over here. They're eating full meals. Who knows? They're crazy. They're absolutely crazy. They're having 3 meals a day.
Big plate.
They're going to bed at 8 p.m. What the fuck? His father Martin. All right, Martin.
You're right, Ernan. You're right, Martin.
I'll have a son. I'll call him Ernan. An army captain and a hidalgo.
What was Martin in Spanish? How would you say that?
Martin.
Yeah, very different to Martin.
Martin McCutcheon.
My name is Martin.
This is my perfect moment. It's funny how Martin McCutcheon was fat shamed for being
Who's
just
that?
normal size. Oh, come on.
Who's Martin McCutcheon?
Martin McCutcheon.
Charlie's. Do you know who Martin McCutcheon is? No. That's two Charlies.
Martin McCutcheon. It was EastEnders heartthrob.
Wait,
in the
she
90s.
was in Love Actually.
Yes, this is what I'm getting to. Martin McCutcheon was Martin McCutcheon was in EastEnders, right? And then she was killed off, and then she had a solo single called Perfect Moment, and then she was in Love Actually, which is kind of a big revival for McCutcheon. But what I was going to say is it's funny how she was fat shamed, even though she's like normal size
and beautiful
and stunning. But in Hugh Grant, that lovable scamp in Love Actually basically just calls her chunky thighs.
Oh yeah,
she's just normal size because it's 2004 and she's not stick. But
it's one of my favorite things in the 2000s when you'll get like a skinny woman and people be like, you know what, I love you even though you're a disgusting fat slob. I'm not vain enough to care about the fact that you're a fucking
objectively gorgeous woman. Objectively gorgeous woman. Look at the fucking state of your thighs. You can hear thunder as you walk. Anyway, his father Martin was an army captain and a hidalgo, which sounds like a slur.
Yes,
I'm enjoying that.
Those fucking hidalgos.
Yeah, who do you reckon they are? The hidalgos.
The hidalgo. What? Which? Who we're being offensive towards?
Yeah,
a hidalgo could be a gypsy,
a Spanish gypsy. Hey, these fucking hidalgos on my lawn.
Yeah. Now that Spain is very different at this point to what it is now, right? This is the kind of height of the Spanish Empire.
Yes.
So this is when they're on top. They are the number one power probably in the world. Maybe the
So for British listeners, try and unpack everything you know about the country. In this day and age, Spain are an economic powerhouse.
They're incredibly into like law. They're very exploring. They're very active.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like very different to what they are now. Basically.
Yes. This is their big swing.
And also, Spanish people in general, I feel, are kind of quite seen as quite nice people. They take you on, quite sincere, nice people, wouldn't you say, the Spanish?
I'd say the men are sex pests.
Right.
And I'd say the women are dramatic and loud.
Fine. But this is when they're very nasty, the Spanish.
If I was pushed to stereotype the Spanish, I'd say in between naps, the men are sex pests.
Rapey and loud.
And the women are making mountain out of molehills.
Right, fine. Okay.
But Hernan Cortez, he's... so his dad's a minor nobleman, but he's quite poor. Lower middle class, let's say. So he can't afford a horse.
This is like, he's sort of lives in the Greenbelt suburbs. Yeah. That sort of... lives in a new build.
He's going on his caravanning holiday in the UK.
Yeah.
The idea that he'd go to France for a holiday would blow his mind.
Sure.
We're not, when we were growing up, we didn't go abroad. My mum still goes on about when Edinburgh had its first pizza. She's like, it was the 70s. Before we didn't have pizza.
And how long before they deep fried that?
Oh, seconds. Yeah. And what's that? We'll put that in there. Put that in some hot oil, and then it'll be delicious. Get that Neapolitan sourdough pizza and shove that in some hot oil, would you? Make it palatable for us. Cortez had a small head. Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with
and
that.
Stood at 5'4".
But I don't know how tall that is for the age, because they're all tiddlers.
Yes, they are. So
I don't know.
What was the average?
5'4" is tiny these days.
Charlie, can you Google what the average height of a Spanish man was in the
there we go.
Century?
All right. Average height of Spain at the time was 5'3". So he's a tall 5'4".
He's a colossus. Hernan stands astride the other Spaniards. but he was said to have been despaired of at birth.
What does that mean? I was despaired of at birth.
Yeah, I was about to say. I can imagine a similar thing. Oh, for fuck's sake!
No, genuinely.
Really?
Because I weighed 12 pounds.
Oof, big boy.
One of the biggest boys.
Big boy.
I haven't heard of bigger boys than me.
Super Antonio next to me. Yeah.
I had to be done via cesarean because
Yes.
I would have finished my mother off, I think, if I'd gone out any other route.
The biggest baby born in the UK, for context of this story, is Guy Carr, born in 1992, weighing 15 pounds and 8 ounces.
I mean, I'm not far off.
He's followed by George King, ranked second in the biggest babies contest, who weighed 15 pounds 7. Anyway, carry on.
And the nurse, apparently, the first thing she said was, "It's a monster." but I think she was just saying because of how big it was and trying to be like. But I guess that's not what you should probably say. Was
it in a West Country accent? Because it sounded, "It's a monster! Oh my word!
It's a monster!"
Childbirth through the anus is not a normal process and is extremely rare. What do you mean it's rare? Surely it's absolute no. What do you mean it's rare?
Well, you might fall through, I guess.
What? Accidentally knock a wall through and come out the other end?
You can knock a wall through here.
Oh, that's not built properly, that vaginal wall.
But there's no normal birth through the anus.
Obviously, there's no normal birth through the anus.
Do you know about these sort of phantom births?
What, like a ghost poo?
What's a ghost poo?
Where you go for a poo, and then there's no, you don't wipe,
and your bum goes woo.
Yeah, I guess so. No, not like that. It's when people don't know they're pregnant.
Oh, the fat women on the front covers of those magazines.
Yeah.
I went for a shit and then a baby came out. What? My wife absolutely loves reading those magazines. She's obsessed with them. They're amazing. There's one called That's Life. Right.
Yeah, That's Life's amazing.
It's incredible because the headlines are some of the most ghastly stuff ever, and then the headline, and then the title of the magazine is That's Life. So it's like, "He raped me and cut my head off." That's life. That's all people say. Yeah, incredible.
Raped in April.
Decapitated by May. Yeah. I dug up my partner's 5 secret lovers. That's life.
That's life.
Absolutely incredible. She's obsessed with this magazine.
I faked labour to escape my rapist captor.
That's life. Hang on. Mum seduced my man as our baby died.
That's life.
Oh. That's just a Tuesday. Sex mad couple kidnapped and caged my man. Oh, what are you going to do?
That's what a lot of people say.
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
Cowboy builder beat my mum to death. That's life. It's just everyday tales from everyday life.
But I guess it has problems and solutions. Problems on the front cover, and the title's the solution.
Well, that's just life, isn't it?
It's life.
Well, it's the most stoic magazine ever, isn't it?
I'm 61 and still breastfeeding my little boy.
Well, that's just life, isn't it? That's life. What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Very good. Right, let's get back to it.
Fucking crazy. Anyway,
so Cortez, lower middle class, born in Spain. Spain is on top. He went to Salamanca to train as a lawyer. Very litigious.
Yep. Spain is a very litigious country.
It still is?
I don't think so now.
Yeah, but at the time it is.
So Cortez is desperately ambitious man.
Yeah.
He's a little sort of runt boy with a tiny head, even though he's very tall. And he trains to be a lawyer, and he works, boring. Who gives a shit?
He was badly behaved at school.
Was he?
Yeah.
All right.
And I think, to be honest, his sort of origin seems quite similar to like a comedian. Maybe going on Diary of a CEO to talk about
small head comedian who played badly at school. What are you saying?
I think you're very much a Cortez. Well, I don't know. I feel like a lot of these characters who, overreach with ambition or like really go try and make themselves something, feel that they were lacking something in their youth. I mean, you were probably lacking a couple of weight sizes.
Lacking in weight sizes?
No, lacking small waist sizes, I guess.
Right.
Double negative.
I see.
You're not fat.
You were eating tons of Twix and shit.
There we go. Yeah. No, thanks, Charlie. I was struggling there, and you threw me a life.
I wasn't lacking for mince pies, I'll tell you that much. They were absolutely on tap. And I had my mouth to the tap.
But yeah, he's found himself bored in a middle management job.
Yeah.
And he's the kind of person who, even at school, stuck out.
Which is what you should be, by the way. You should be, if you're in middle management and you think, I'm feeling bored, you should be. It's a boring thing to choose to do, and you should be ashamed.
But this is what was available at the time, because I feel like a lot of ambitious people now, you go into like, I don't know, podcasting or fucking consultancy. What do you do?
No, you don't go into podcasting. You start filming yourself in the gym, and then you start hassling people to be a body coach.
Exactly. So
I'm fine. I don't need your weird help.
What would Cortez be doing now, though? He's ambitious.
He'd be hosting a racist podcast.
Yes.
Every day.
That's what I mean.
Every day's a gamble.
Yeah.
He's a big gambler.
And if we were back then, we'd probably be like, we'd be getting on the ship saying, what's going on there?
I would absolutely decimate Tenochtitlan. Do you know what I would do, actually?
Like their mince pies.
No, because the Mexica have got chocolate. I was thinking about this.
Right, yeah.
So when Cortez arrives, it's the first time they discover chocolate. So if I was there, I'd be like, do you know what? I'm staying here.
He went native.
Yeah, I'd go native and just eat.
He went native also. He took up their religions and custom. No, he just stuffed his face full of chocolate.
He sat by the larder. I just stuffed my face with fucking chocolate.
I'm an Aztec now.
Yeah. No, I don't do any of the sacrifice shit. I'm just mainly just stay here and just...
Yeah, you guys enjoy yourself.
Yeah. Absolutely stuffed my face with chocolate. Anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Cortez is an ambitious man, and he seeks his fortune in the New World, which is what I guess all the, as you say, ambitious Spaniards are doing at the turn of the 16th century. And he arrives in Hispaniola, which is today the Dominican Republic, I think, in 1504.
Right.
He then joins...
So because since Columbus has arrived in there, Spain has started setting up kind of primitive colonies in the Caribbean, I guess. Is that... what's this? Is this Caribbean?
So Columbus has discovered... has he discovered North America?
So basically came in and discovers like the Caribbean first.
Right.
And then he sort of potters about in the Gulf of Mexico.
Right.
And then heads back. So I don't think they're fully aware.
They were Florida?
Yeah, probably.
Because Florida's much closer to Cuba than the Gulf, than like Mexico.
Yeah, it's people zorb. I've seen people zorb there, like in a zorb ball.
What, from Cuba to Florida?
Cuba. Yeah.
Cubans are fleeing.
You can zorb your way.
You can zorb from...
Stop the zorbs. There's an invasion on our southern border of small zorbs.
I mean, to be fair, if refugees were arriving by zorb, I think a lot of the country would be like, well, fair fucks. How have you done that? How have you done that? Do you know what? You can stay. If you can stag do your way here, yeah.
Fair enough. Anyway, so this is like 20 years after that, right? So he's gone out there, and there's primitive colonies there, and there's the Hispaniola people, is it? What are they called? The Tainos,
yeah.
Who I guess are...
brother.
I don't know. I don't even know if that... I think that's incredibly off. Your racism today is actually incredibly off.
They're the indigenous Jamaicans.
They're indigenous Jamaicans, the Tainos. I remember from the Pirate
But that's
series.
before brother.
Brother.
Isn't it? They're much more like Tenochtitlan. That's much more them, because brother hasn't come along.
Did you just do a racist Aztec accent?
Yeah.
Which no one knows what the fuck that was.
They're much closer to that.
Hello, I'm Tenochtitlan. The Taino people, yeah, they're the original inhabitants of Hispaniola. So,
but I guess we need to reframe, because we've done the story where we've done the setup of the Aztecs. We need to try and imagine it from the perspective that you don't know any of these people exist.
Yes.
All they know is these couple of islands. They haven't mapped America. They don't know how big it is. And the Taino people, is it? Taino people, they're far more primitive than the Aztecs, right?
Yeah. So
the only assumption that people living here it's like kind of almost hunter-gatherer kind of level.
Ooga booga.
No.
Are they Ooga Boogas?
I think they've just gone past Ooga Booga.
Because in the scale of man's evolution,
right?
It's
there we go.
What is it? Fish?
Yeah.
Fish.
Gurgle, gurgle.
Gurgle, gurgle.
Glug, glug.
No, that's the very end.
Well, it goes. It's a circle, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a circle of life, isn't it? Because there's nothing more evolved than a gay man is the most evolved human there is in terms of like fashion, income, power, earning potential,
right.
Culture.
Right.
Sorry, they're going to the opera and shit. So gay men at the top and then fish at the bottom.
And both of them are
so both of them are... So you've got... And then... Now this is the bit I don't get. Fish to monkeys. What does that look like?
What's the
crocodile?
Connecting line of fish to monkeys?
What's the missing link between fish and monkeys?
Fish to monkeys. Is that like a really weird tribute band of Boys to Men?
Sea monkeys.
Right.
Again, that sounds like a slur.
Yeah. And then it gets to Ooga Booga, right? It goes through...
So it's glugga, glugga, Ooga Booga. Okay? That's Taino. Then it's, I don't know, hello.
Yeah.
And then it's again. And that's the circle of life.
That's the circle of life.
So anyway, Cortez's story really begins in 1511 on Cuba, cabron, where he joins
Diego Velázquez, who's, I guess, the governor of Cuba, or the person who's in control of the...
Well, this is when they conquer Cuba, right?
Yeah. He goes out and conquers it, but he's effectively like the deputy governor, but the governor doesn't live on Cuba, so he's effectively the governor once he conquers it.
So I think with the expansionism of Spain at the moment as well, I think the Pope has recently done that decree where he splits the world in half and says everything.
Split the pum pum in two.
He
Bust the bat in. Bust the pum pum in two.
He busts the new world open and says basically anything east of like a line through the Atlantic is Portuguese, and anything west is Spanish. So that's given a sort of papal decree that Spain can basically do what they want.
Right.
But it needs to be all done within the Spanish crown. So there's strict laws the king is trying to enforce to make sure people don't just go rogue, where it's all needs to be done in the name of the Spanish crown.
The king has absolutely no way of holding anyone accountable for what they're doing hundreds of thousands of miles away.
Yes.
So Cuba is conquistadored, which we should talk about the conquistadors in general, really.
Well, also
you say that it's on the orders of the Spain, but really
bandits.
I mean, what's the phrase that someone uses? Armed entrepreneurs.
Yes,
is what they call the conquistadors, historians now.
There's no kind of, the communication's so slow, you can sort of...
Yeah, and so when people talk about Spain conquering a land, it's like it's rich, ambitious Spanish men who do it sort of on their own esteem and then retroactively say, this is for the King of Spain.
And these are quite violent trained men, but like in Spain, the conquistadors, even Columbus, this was coming historically off the back of the Reconquista, which was this kind of 700-year process of taking Spain back from the Moors, from the Islamic empires. So that kind of energy is being applied to the New World. The conquistadors, because they reconquisted their own country, basically. Yeah,
they took their country back.
Exactly.
They reconquisted it.
They took back control.
Yeah. They made Spain lazy again. Yeah. And then the main thing is that Cortes essentially becomes Velázquez's secretary.
Right.
So he's a pen pusher.
Right.
And so this is where the kind of people say, he's kind of a mediocre, sort of probably
got
quite
like
bitter.
a big cleavage, and it's kind of like an 80s secretary, right?
Yeah, he's being goosed by Velázquez, being running around the desk. Hey, come here. Hey. And the relationship sours when Velázquez learns that Cortes was sleeping with his sister-in-law. Damn. Because something we should bring up here is that Cortes is an absolute horn dog.
Loves it.
He loves tang, can't get enough.
Yeah.
You could really rewrite this whole period as Cortes's search for Nookie.
Yeah, new Nookie.
He'd
run out of Nookie in the old one.
Nookie yet to be tamed.
Yeah, New World Nookie.
So, years later, Velázquez sends Juan de whatever the fuck that is.
Grijalva.
Juan de Grijalva. He sends him west of Cuba because he reports finding gold and silver. Now, they fucking love gold, it should be said.
Yes.
And the reason they love gold so much is because that's the easiest thing to ship back.
Yeah.
And then melt down into coins and trinkets and
it's
things for women to fill their room with.
Yes.
We as men don't see it. You know, when we move into a house, we just get a bed and a sofa and an Xbox. Yeah. And then a girlfriend will come in and say, you need some stuff. You need some intangible things. You need some incense sticks. You need a little pot. Yeah. The little teacup that you don't use for tea. Yeah. You know, ceremonial, ornamental bollocks.
And this is what
the Spanish women do with the gold.
Right.
Send back. So Juan de Grijalva finds gold, and so Velázquez commissions Cortes to lead an expedition to find this gold across the Gulf of Mexico onto the Mexican mainland, the Mesoamerican mainland. And his orders are explicit.
This is important.
These are his fucking orders.
Yeah.
Only discovery and trade, no conquest, no war.
Yeah.
No fucking the natives.
And he's like, he knows what Cortes is like.
Yeah. Sleep in your own bed every night. Spread Christianity.
Not chlamydia.
Not legs.
Cortes.
And investigate the rumors of people with huge ears or the faces of dogs. So there's some pretty wild rumors happening at this point that the Cubans people in Cuba are hearing that there's some mad Amazons with big ears and dog faces. Yeah. And Cortes is like, well, if there's a man with a dog face, I want to fuck him.
Oh yeah, she sounds gorgeous.
What, you see some of the dogs I've slept with? So as soon as Cortes is given this command, he immediately starts acting like he's the big boss because he's been a secretary for too long.
And finally he's got his own thing.
Finally he's got his own office, his own desk.
And he's gone straight to wearing like the fucking crown on his head.
Yeah, so immediately the first thing he does is buy a huge feathered hat.
Gold medallion.
So I guess this in the 16th century, this is what, this is garish new money. It's like rappers, you know, it's...
he's got like a an affected limp and a pimp cane.
Yeah, the cane and a big hat and a coat. And he does have a black velvet cloak with golden knots.
And it's like, you were promoted 10 minutes ago. How have you got this outfit already?
I'm a motherfucking PIMP.
He was literally a secretary, and he was like, right, you can be in command of this ship. And immediately
his head goes to his head. His head goes.
He looks like Snoop Diggy Dog.
And Velazquez, his jester Cervantes, warns.
His jester?
Yeah.
Right. So
warns him that Cortez would disobey his orders. And Cortez.
So I guess jester work from a fellow comic, you know, is that cruise ship kind of work? Going out to the new world to do jester?
You're a shill, yeah.
Well, you're going out for the big money
sold
thing.
out, you're mainstream. Yeah. He's got to work clean. That's not real comedy, man.
Right.
Real comedy's talking about how George Bush is the biggest terrorist that's ever lived. Anyway, Cortez dismisses this whole Cervantes nonsense, and Cervantes later actually joins Cortez on the expedition. But eventually, Velazquez starts to become suspicious of Cortez's massive feathery hats. And his ambition.
There's something suspicious about this guy.
Yeah, he's like, this guy that I promoted suddenly just got to spend all his money on a massive hat and a cane.
Yeah.
And he removes him from the command, and so he basically takes him off the journey. But Cortez goes, "Fuck that! I'm here for New World Nookie."
Yeah.
Cortez is about to set sail for the New World Nookie and the gold, and Velazquez rushes to the harbour shouting, "Oh, is this, my friend, that you are setting off in this way? Is this a good way to say goodbye to me, eh?"
Cortez replies, "Forgive me, but these things have all been thought about some time before they were ordered. What are now your orders?"
So he's running a Turkish restaurant, it seems.
What are now your orders?
My friend, mixed grill, very good today. Mixed grill.
Very nice.
Fresh lamb,
very fresh, of course. Chili garlic
sauce.
Anybody next, please.
Everything comes with too much bread. Velazquez is left speechless by this. He's going, fair enough. He's like, where the fuck are you from? And Cortez just sails. He goes, fuck it. I want some nookie. Let's go.
Yeah, he puts the pedal to the metal.
Yeah, he puts his foot down on the oar. I don't know. Eat my sea.
Yeah.
And that date was the 18th of November, a date that will go down in history.
Does it?
I don't know. Actually, it's not. No, it's not.
I don't think that's even that important.
No, it's actually not that important. So anyway, so on the 4th of March, so 5 months later.
Damn.
So it's 5 months at sea. Don't know what they're doing.
They went the scenic route.
They're playing Thoggy Biscuit. The Spaniards are playing their Thoggy Chorizo, or whatever they call it.
Well, pan con tomate, but with...
pan cum tomate. Pan cum tomate.
Yeah.
They land on Cozumel Island, which is off the Yucatan Peninsula.
Yeah.
So they've been told, they set up camp on this island off the Yucatan Peninsula, and they've been told that there are 2 Christians living on the mainland. And so they send letters for them, and one of them arrives.
Geronimo de Aguilar. Now, is Geronimo, when you shout that when you jump off a thing, it's not after him, is it? That's a different Geronimo.
Because if that's a name, that's like going like, Martin! Or Clive! Yeah. US Army paratroopers who were inspired by the 1939 film Geronimo used it as a cry of defiance and bravery before jumping out of airplanes. I think it'd be funnier to shout Kevin as you jump out of the plane. Kevin! As if you're jumping out of a plane looking for someone called Kevin. Kevin!
Well, with that tone of voice when you're jumping.
Yeah. Kevin! Kevin, come back here. You're looking for your dog. Fenton! Plane. Anyway, so there are these 2 Christians that have gone sort of native. I don't know how the fuck
this is very kind of Heart of Darkness sort of vibe.
I don't know how the fuck they've got there, but I guess they must have been...
Well, I think one of them got shipwrecked, didn't they?
They got shipwrecked.
They both got shipwrecked.
Voyage, yeah.
Okay.
For like 5 years before this happened.
Right. So Geronimo de Aguilar speaks Mayan,
He'd learnt it, which is very handy.
Mayan is not Aztec or Nahuatl. Nahuatl be going on here.
Mayans are further south. They're more in the jungle region, close to Guatemala, I feel.
And the Mayans are not a Nahuatl people.
They're not. But their civilization we know much less about because the Spanish conquest was even more destructive.
Get rid of that.
Yeah.
Stamp that out.
And there was a crazy Spanish Christian priest who made sure to burn all remnants of Mayan civilization.
Get rid of it. Get that gone.
And that's why a lot of the kind of, I don't know, mystical ancient history fantasies are all about the Mayans because we know so little about them. So there's so much mystery.
Yeah, that film 2012.
The Mayan calendar, right?
Yeah.
Just anyone who says the world's going to end, I just love that. I'm just amazed by those sort of people.
Yeah.
But we need to follow. There's this one Christian. We will do a Patreon episode on him as well. But this guy who kept predicting the end of the world. This big Christian. He had there was millions of people listening to him. Harold Camping is his name. Yeah. But it's more like, God, you're really putting a lot on the line.
No, now it's this.
Yeah, he kept changing it. Right. Yeah. Yeah. We'll do a Patreon episode on him. He's fucking awesome.
Anyway, so Geronimo de Aguiar, he speaks Mayan, which is not Nahuatl. That's important. He'd been shipwrecked and held hostage by cannibal Mayans, or Mayans as they're called, and then escapes. And Aguiar's mother, on hearing her son had been captured by cannibals, refuses to eat meat and becomes hysterical at the sight of frying pans. Lovely bit of detail there.
Might be something else going on there, though.
Yeah.
She could have some other issues.
She's fucking mad. You can fry things that aren't meat.
I guess that's the beginning of the sort of Spanish people we know and love now. Hysterical at the sight of frying pans.
Hysterical women, yeah. No, he's too big. So the other captive, as well as Geronimo, Gonzalo Guerrero, he'd gone full native. So he had like Mayan kids. He's got
a wife, 3 kids. He's settled down.
He's got a mortgage. He's eating people.
He's got a Volvo in the garage.
Yeah. Bog standard. He's going to IKEA on weekends.
Yeah, I just, I think I got what I want here, Yeah. I don't need to...
But do you know what? Life's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's like I saw the new Mission Impossible film at the weekend.
Don't tell me I'm watching it tonight.
Oh, fuck. I'm not here.
Don't tell me anything.
I won't say anything because it is... Are you into Mission Impossible?
We're so into it.
Right. It's up there.
Good. I don't want to hear any more.
It's absolutely phenomenal.
My dad said more happens before the opening credits than in the entire works of Proust.
I'd agree. I think Proust can suck my dick. I'd watch Mission Impossible, Final Reckoning over any of that Proust shit any day of the week.
Yeah, fuck that Proust shit, man.
I don't even know what
It's about time someone said it.
Fuck Proust.
Yeah.
Firstly, who is he?
I don't really know.
All I know is he's boring.
He's a boring French fuck.
No. Final Reckoning, Dead Reckoning Part 2, whatever you want to call it, is up there with Fallout for me. Is the best.
Yeah, we watched Fallout 2 nights ago.
Oh, I'm jealous.
It's brilliant.
It's the best. Anyway, back to this old crummy shit. So these two Christians, Guerrero and Aguiar. Guerrero doesn't come back because he's happy. He's got the Volvo. He's got the kids. Yeah,
I'm settled.
Guys, you know over here they get to fucking eat people.
Yeah.
I'm eating ass. And I mean eating ass. I don't mean rimming. No, I'm eating ass. Yeah. It's really good.
Yeah.
I guess, as you say, history is cyclical. And so eating ass is, it's coming back into fashion now.
Yes.
But they're not eating ass. Gen Z are like, oh, we're crazy. We're eating ass. You're not like these fuckers.
No.
These fuckers are eating ass.
Yeah.
They're cooking it rare.
Yeah, knife and fork.
Yeah. Come back to me when you're eating ass with a knife and fork, mate. In fact, I don't know if they have knives and forks.
Yes, probably
They're
not.
eating it with their hands.
They're still eating it with their hands.
Feral. they're pulling apart the meat. It's like
just off the bone.
Off the bone. Well, yeah. Is there an arse bone?
Will be off your pelvis.
Coccyx.
We'll be like those food Instagram guys who have the gloves.
Oh, they have
go
the
through
black
like a
gloves,
brisket.
and they get like the man with the spine, and they just pulling the meat off.
And then this fucking Salt Bae comes in.
Yeah. Just every day, isn't it mad? You wake up now, you turn your phone on, and just first thing you see is just some fat guy with his lips going, just pulling meat apart. And you're just in bed like, this is another day.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Just two fat guys looking at each other.
Anyway, so, but Geronimo, he's like, great. Some Spaniards. I'll get back with them. And he then...
And it's very important because he speaks mine, even though that's not Nahuatl. That's one link.
Yeah, that's one link in the chain.
Yeah.
So the Spanish on the 22nd of March, so a couple of weeks later, so they pick up Geronimo, right? So he's with them.
Yeah.
They land in Tabasco. And is that Tabasco the same as modern day Tabasco area of Mexico? Yeah.
Right.
And are they making hot sauce at this point?
Yeah. What's the hot sauce like?
What's the hot sauce? Charlie, when was hot sauce invented?
It was invented in 7000 BC.
Really?
What the fuck?
Fuck, it's older than anything.
But then I guess you just put a pepper in some water.
Yeah, I guess so.
Simple hot sauce by grinding chili peppers with water and herbs, using it for flavouring, medicine, even
so it was before civilization. It was before the first city.
Fuck yeah.
Fair enough.
Mad that hot sauce was invented so much earlier than toilet paper. So Tabasco hot sauce is not till 1868. Yeah. So this is pre hot sauce is around, but Tabasco isn't yet.
No, okay.
It's not been commodified in the way. Also, Tabasco hot sauce is watery shit. I'm a hot sauce connoisseur. I make my own.
You used to make your own.
I make my own, and I gave them spicy historical names.
Really? What?
Yeah, like the Second Tower or whatever. Third Reich.
Right.
Dachau. That was more of a slog hit.
Well, Dachau will absolutely destroy your ass.
You're finished.
You're finished. Yeah, obliterate.
Dachau would kill your appetite. so that you'd be famished by the end of it. No, I had a whole operation going.
Do you have any secret tips?
Be in a very unhappy relationship and just find hobbies. This is when I got into cockfighting as well. I was making hot sauce. I was gained weight, really put it back on again. About 4 years where I was with last girlfriend before my now wife.
Yeah,
I put the pounds back on. I was making hot sauce in the kitchen.
I mean, it's very early to be getting into like a miserable marriage.
Yeah,
it's very you to be in your 20s and be like kind of 40 years deep into a marriage.
Cooking vinegar in the shed to make hot sauce. Yeah. And then giving it funny historical names. Yeah, no, I mean it's a kind of
You're like 27. You're my age.
I was your age. Yeah, yeah.
Were you unhappy throughout the relationship, or did it just happen over time?
I think it happened over time. Anyway, back to this. So
at first the locals were peaceful. Then Cortez, this is very colonial, classic move that's done by most European colonials. Read them the Requerimiento, a declaration of Spanish sovereignty. This is the classic move. You arrive in land you've never come to. You have a big scroll saying, by the way,
this is ours.
This is ours.
Crazy.
If you want to dispute that, you need to write up appeal.
Yeah.
You got to go through. Proper local.
It's like going to a pub where there's like someone's got the best table, and you're like, these are our pints. We've got that. This table's ours. If you want to complain, you have to go not to the publican, to the head of the chain.
Yeah.
You have to go right to Green King.
Yeah.
This is our pub. Get off.
Yeah. But if they didn't understand any single one of those words that you just said,
you're speaking in Bantu.
Yeah. And this declaration said God gave the world to the Pope. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Then the Pope gave the land to Spain, as we said, it split in half. Which I guess logically tracks.
Yes, yeah.
God to Pope to Spain.
Yeah.
And then submit to Spanish rule and Christianity. If you resist, you'll be killed or enslaved, and it'll be your own fault.
Yeah.
And it'll be your own bloody fault.
Fair's fair. What do the locals say?
Well, they say no.
Right.
But I don't really know if they don't speak Spanish.
I think they said what?
I guess they got a translator.
Excuse me? Who the fuck are you? That's probably what they went.
I don't really know what the Spanish were hoping. All right then.
What the fuck's that? Who are you and what the fuck's that? Because presumably they've got horses,
no,
right?
I'd be if I was mine, I'd be going, it's like DJ Khaled, what's that? And what's that? And what's that? And what is that? And what's this?
Yeah.
I'll be doing that over everything.
Because the Spanish have got 16 horses with them, right? And no one in the New World has seen a horse.
Yeah.
Because centuries earlier, they killed them all.
Yeah.
So when he sees the Mayans in Tabasco, he says, this is the Pope's, this is Spain's, you'll submit. They're like, what the fuck are you on? What is that massive dog you're riding with this gorgeous hair? And again, this is around a similar time. Richard III has wanted to fuck his horse.
Yeah.
So they're like, what the fuck is that gorgeous dog?
Yes,
I want to fuck this gorgeous dog horse.
The locals said no and fought the Spanish at the Battle of Centla, but the Spanish had horses, guns, and steels, so they won.
And this is quite a good hum actually moment. Hum actually, because our idea of the conquest of the New World is that the Spanish had guns and they didn't even have wheels.
Right.
Actually, the main weapon advantage they had, the main technological advantage, was steel.
Yes.
Because swords could absolutely polish people off.
And obsidian is rubbish.
Obsidian is like, it's nonsense.
I mean, obsidian probably was good if everyone else has obsidian.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is brilliant.
Again, it's
but
black.
As soon as it comes
glass.
up against anything. Yeah.
And they have clubs. And then what else do they have?
They're basically just chucking vases at
rocks. They're chucking rocks at people with beautiful steel.
They throw rocks and they have glass. They're basically chucking a carafe at you.
Yeah. So the Spanish win easily. And Cortez asks for gold. They say, we don't have any, but you want to see these fuckers.
Which could be them trying to just move them on a bit.
Yeah, because I guess what we need to get into really is that there are competing, like there's not all one people. And part of the Aztecs' great undoing is that they're sort of hated by a lot of other tribes around the area. And Cortez...
But it's like in the aliens coming and saying... and us helping them destroy the French.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Aliens land down.
Aliens land in Palestine and they're like, well, we don't have any gold, but those fucking Jews next door do.
Right.
And then they'll be like, all right, well, let's take them down.
Yeah.
Good luck.
I mean, it's the ultimate divide and conquer story.
Aliens, good luck taking them down. They've got the most advanced detection system the world's known. Yeah, I guess it's like the Mayans. Yeah. The discovery of the Mayans is like if aliens were landing over the Iron Dome and Israel just shot them out of the sky.
Right.
Just obliterate them. Just no, done.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a separate civilization with thousands. Nah, get rid of it. Done. Next.
Yeah. Poof.
Move. Right. So a key character we need to introduce is this is what Dominic Sambrook in his epic 8-part Precious History series on the Aztecs, he calls this woman the most powerful, most important woman in history.
Arguably, yeah.
Yeah. Which is like, tallest dwarf.
Straightest man in France.
Yeah, straightest man in France. How important can a woman really be? I guess there's Emmeline Pankhurst. There's that lot.
Emily Maitlis,
Pankhurst, Maitlis, and Malinche. She's in top three goats of women throughout history. Malinche is a slave girl who is given to Cortez as a peace offering after he conquers the Mayans at Tabasco.
And she's been handed around all over the shop. Right?
And when I say girl, she's 10?
No.
She's young. She's pretty young.
She's older. She's older.
I think she's young
because she's lived an she's been all over the place because she's been the mistress of so many different tribes.
I don't think that stops her from being 10. This is a pretty.
It was a different time.
It's a different time. It's pre-Me Too.
The Overton window.
The Overton window for paedophilia has shifted so far to the right, in my opinion.
Is that what the right is?
Yeah. The right says that the consent laws is like a libertarian disgrace.
Right.
In that the right is like, I should be free to decide who I fuck.
Yeah.
And all this left wants the state to get involved in people's sex lives by putting up these red tape.
She was 15 to 18 years old.
Okay, fine.
But the reason why she can speak languages, because she could speak Mayan and Nahuatl.
Yes, this is the key thing.
Because she's been sold to lots of different tribes, I think.
Yeah.
And so she's picked stuff up.
So she's a native Nahuatl speaker.
And hell hath no fury like a woman scorned is sort of this story, right?
Hell hath no woman like a girl sold into sex slavery.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
because they treated her badly and she came back. She got her revenge, to be fair to her.
Yes, she did. Malinche is a native Nahuatl speaker, but the Aztecs captured her tribe and sold her into sex slavery to the Mayans. So she picks up Mayan, which then means that suddenly Cortez, who has met these strange people who eat everyone and fuck each other, and he's met these people, it's similar to an alien encounter, but suddenly, because of the Christian from the mainland, Geronimo, because of Kevin, because of him and Malinche, he now has this chain of translation where he can speak to Aztecs.
Because he speaks to Geronimo, who can speak Spanish
Mayan.
and Mayan, and then Geronimo speaks to Malinche, who could speak Mayan and Nahuatl.
Yeah. But crucially, so she hates the Aztecs, which is crucial to this story.
Yeah.
She hates them because they sold her into slavery.
Fair enough.
But she's so good at languages, I guess.
She's a linguist.
She's an amateur linguist, like myself. So she's going, Breda.
Yeah.
Wagwan.
You're an accentist, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is the study of accents must be Charlie, what's the term for the study of accents?
Dialectologist.
Dialectologist.
You're a dialectologist.
I'm a dialectologist.
Right.
Miko dialectologist. That's just one of my that's my dissertation. He's left that.
Yeah.
Whistled through. I think the wicketkeeper's left that as well. I think I've absolutely sailed for 4 buys, I think. Now, Cortez has these 2 crucial components. He's in this alien land, he's meeting aliens, but he's able to talk to them through this chain of translation. And on 21st of April, they land near San Juan de Ulia Totonac, which is near the Totonacs, who are an Aztec tributary. So they're part of the Aztec Empire.
Nahuatl people.
They're Nahuatl people. And they go along the coast, and then they get further inland.
Oh, so they can still be on their boat as they're moving inland. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. Right.
So they land near the Totonac land. And at this point, I guess this is the first meeting between emissaries of the Aztec Empire.
Yes. And they're getting a lot of mixed messages. As they're walking through, they keep getting people coming from, well, they don't know what it is, but the people are coming from Montezuma, Tenochtitlan, are just arriving and giving them mixed messages. They're trying to work out who the fuck these people are. It's so confusing for both sides, really.
Yeah. But Cortez just wants gold.
Apparently Cortez says, which is probably a bit of myth making, but basically to try and get more gold, and people give it to me, he basically says, I have a sickness that can only be cured by gold.
We Spaniards know a sickness of the heart that only gold can cure.
Yeah.
So to DA, who is Montezuma's emissary, he welcomes them with some gifts, and I think they're shiny gifts, aren't they? They're like big shiny gold things. And Cortez gives him some beads, which he could put around his...
so it's like a Middle Eastern taxi driver's chair, basically.
Yeah. which have gone out of fashion since Uber's dominated the market, and it's a shame because I like taxi beads on those chair. Anyway, so Montezuma gives him gold, and Montezuma's emissary gives Cortez gold, and Cortez gives him some beads that you put on a taxi driver's chair,
an armchair,
a chair, and then a cap with a gold medal of St. George killing a dragon.
Not great, to be honest.
No, and Tudie sort of accepts them politely, although he's noted in the history books as having looked like he'd just been handed excrement. But again, we don't know what their attitude to poo was.
Yeah,
so he could be like, "Oh,
brilliant!
Can I eat that?" So Cortez asks Tudie, listen, do you have gold? And Tudie is, I can't say this fucking guy's name.
Tudie.
Two-dial.
Not Two-dial.
So he asks Two-dial if they got gold. He says, yes, I got fucking loads of it. And then within a day and a half, Montezuma receives the news and, quote, almost dies of fright.
Right.
Because I imagine the news was, these mad cunts with beards have rocked up and they've got these huge dogs. Yeah. These mad big dogs. Yeah. You think turkeys look weird. What the fuck are these fuckers? They've got massive cocks, the biggest cocks I've ever seen. And so this starts the journey, the hallowed, fated journey of Cortez to Tenochtitlan and the meeting of Montezuma. And this is where Cortez starts to break the rules that he's been given. Because as we said, he's been told trade, discovery, no fucking the natives. He's probably already fucked Malinche at this point. So he decides to go, listen, I'm staying here because there's loads of gold. Yeah. This sounds sick. This city, this pumping. There's a nightclub on a lake. Yeah. Sounds fucking great. Yeah, I'm going to found a city on the beach, which is called Veracruz. Who's it named?
What's Veracruz? Because you always name it after yourself, right? Yeah. Normally. So who's Veracruz named after?
Just means place of the true cross.
Right. Okay. Because if you were like a colonist and you were setting up, would it be Taylortown? What would it be?
Finlandia.
Yeah. Again,
where mince pies grow on trees. You know in The Simpsons when Homer's running through Candyland?
Yeah.
That's me in Finlandia. Yeah.
And the reason he sets up Veracruz, and it's barely even a city, it's like it's a couple of fucking shacks, right? It's some tents, right?
Yeah, it's like a resort. It's a beach resort.
But he's setting it up and saying it's a city just because that now gives him legal
he holds
justification to go after.
He founds a city, then founds a council, and then holds elections as to whether he's in control and in charge, and they should just carry on exploring.
Because he also trained as a lawyer, you have to remember, so he knows all of these things.
He knows these tricks,
all these things to jump through.
So he builds the city, which is still
and also because he's built this city, now it's Spanish territory. Now if you do anything on Spanish territory, now it's an insult to the king, yada yada, I can do this.
Yeah. So he hears of a nearby settlement, Sem Paula, which is ruled by
Gordo,
the fat chief.
Right. Don't need to mention his weight.
Plus size chief.
Yeah. He shops at Giacomo, this boy.
And Giacomo, which is another Aztec town, we should say. TJLAMO, Giacomo. And Cortez convinces the fat chief to submit to Spain and rebel. And the Spanish, after this, they destroy all their idols. Yep. They tell them to stop this sacrifice. Right. So this is where the Spanish see, like, what the fuck are you doing over there? And they also say, please stop bumming each other. Because the boys are dressing as girls and they're selling their fake girl booties to each other. Right, listen, enough of this.
Enough. Lights on.
No.
You, out of there.
Stop bumming them. Yeah. Stop.
It's a boarding master going into a boys' boarding house and breaking up the soggy biscuit and the sodomy.
The foggy biscuit.
The foggy biscuit.
The Aztecs did use casual anal sex for pleasure.
Casual.
Yeah.
I think anal sex is rarely casual.
For me, it's an intensely formalised process. Yeah. There's a whole structure of legal speak around the situation.
Yeah, I guess casual is it sort of like. I guess for me, it's smart casual anal. It's sort of like there's a blend, you know. Yeah. It's not like Hawaiian. It's not naked. Hawaiian shirt and flip flops, is it?
No, they're naked from the waist down, and then it's a tuxedo from the waist up. Both parties. No, I think casual anal is what's the word? An oxymoron, because there has to be a formal process to get rid of the poo.
Well, it depends what your view on poo on your dick is like.
Yeah, but I would argue we don't want that.
Right.
We don't want poo in the dick.
But how casual is this person?
Well, this is what I mean. Casual anal sex. Charlie's had his hand up for about 10 minutes. What do you want to say?
You need to just have like a framework. You need a framework where you acknowledge the poo. So I
Here we go.
Acknowledge the poo. It's like the Aztecs reading out. It's like the Spaniards reading out of Recuermento, isn't it?
He's had his nose put out of joint because we've got someone who can look stuff up, and now he's like feeling finally confident on something that he's an expert in.
Yeah.
So basically, I had a thing where you'd be like, "Is it okay? Is it okay?" is a code word for "Is there any poo?" And I was.
What a great code word that is.
and then you say, "Is it okay? Is it okay?" And you keep asking that, and then
is it okay?
And then eventually it's not okay because there is poo, and that's how you know.
That's really like weird though. Is it okay?
It's not
okay.
So, but who
is it okay?
Who is telling the other one that where there's poo? Is it the receiver or the giver?
The giver.
So the giver's
because you got no idea. You're there like that, and therefore, if it's not okay, how do you know?
Do you feel a poo coming out?
No.
Do you feel a poo going towards the dick in the same way the Aztecs were going towards the Spanish?
I don't think so. I don't think you can.
A pellet can just fall out.
Right.
Fall
out? How much space is there in this channel?
It depends, really. It depends what you're doing.
Okay. It's not okay.
Hashtag is it okay? Isn't that what the last leg do? Hashtag is it okay?
Is it okay?
Is it okay?
It's not okay.
Is there poo?
But it's just you going, there's just shit flying out.
I'd say
it's not okay.
My code word would be Houston, we have a problem. There's a poo in the.
I'll be like, oh, you disgust. My code would be, oh, you filthy animal.
The shit
is fucking disgusting.
That'd be my code word. Gross.
What the fuck?
You just shattered my cock. So anyway, the Spaniards say, please stop doing this. And they now go from...
Spanish would lecture every town about stopping buggery. Why are you gay?
Why are you gay? Why are you gay? Hey, ¿qué?
And they're like,
why are you gay?
You are gay.
You are transgender. Anyway, what we need to wrap this episode up. Yeah. What Cortez does, right, is now this is the key thing, he scuttles the ships, meaning...
He drags them ashore?
He drags them ashore, which means that they can't get back. No one can now go back to Velazquez in Cuba.
Yeah.
So he has officially gone, I'm in charge, fuck Velazquez's orders, we are beached.
He's going for it.
We're going for it. I want to see what the fuck's going on in there.
Yeah.
I've only got gold. I've only got boys.
Yeah.
I want to get in there.
Yeah.
So now the Spanish troops, who were kind of like, what on earth is this cunt doing?
Right.
Now they've got to follow him because they can't get home.
Right.
Everyone's stranded. Where we want to wrap this episode up is with this nearby tribe that Cortez hears of called the Tlaxcalans.
Yes.
And they fucking hate the Aztecs.
So they're one of the tribes that has been been fucked over by the Aztecs, one of the many tribes, but they've had it pretty much the worst.
They're the ones that are getting sacrificed a lot.
A lot. And then they also are forced to take part in the Flower Wars, which is like some sort of like sick fucking game they get where they kidnap people and make them do kind of gladiatorial sort of stuff, I assume.
It's kind of like a less deadly war, but the important thing is that the Tlaxcalans are like one of the few tribes, I guess, who haven't been conquered by the Aztecs. But they have this like yearly war where they fight.
So they have a ritualistic war every year.
Ritualistic war?
Yeah.
Right. So it's sort of like the Ashes kind of...
Yes, it's the Ashes.
Right. But they don't enjoy it.
It's the Slashers, Carlins.
Yeah. But who is it? Is the ritual? Is it sort of like wrestling where it's predetermined?
Yeah, like half choreographed, but they know neither side is like we're gonna win. So they know it's gonna be a stalemate at the end. It's basically just like a ploy, especially for the Aztecs, to capture loads of men.
Yes, because they need the men to sacrifice, which we dealt with in the last episode. They need the men to sacrifice for the sun to come up and down.
Yes, yeah.
Anyway, Cortez hears of this tribe, and he sets off to win them over, beginning his great march towards the Aztecs' capital, the savage urban centre of Tenochtitlan. Now, the rest of this story, the rest of this series is all on our Patreon already. If you can't wait till next week,
unbelievable,
to find out where it's going.
You lucky piggies.
You lucky pigs. There's no human sacrifice on this Patreon.
Yep.
What are the Patreon?
Well, maybe I think we're pretty generous with how cheap the Patreon is in many ways.
Yes.
I think, to be honest, if the quality of the content stays as good as it has been on the Patreon behind the paywall, maybe we should demand a human sacrifice a month.
Yes.
To keep the Patreon going.
One Patreon a month. Would you like to be sacrificed?
We will live stream
a sacrifice. Now, I'd have to check with Patreon whether that is in breach of their rules. It feels a bit anti.
If we chop someone's head off and then put them down stealth in Thorpe Park.
Yeah. Or tidal wave.
Whee! Yeah. Geronimo!
Anyway, join the Patreon for the rest of the
see you next
series,
week.
and we will see you next week for the continuation of our Aztec series. Adios.